Fashioned. My name is Leah. If you're new here, welcome. If you're coming back as a subscriber, thank you so much. I just want to take a moment to say thank you, everybody, especially all my subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for coming along with me and clicking that like button and following my journey. I'm so excited to have you as a subscriber. Sorry, don't mind my cow. She might sound like a trumpet. But thank you for being here. I hope that we grow as a community. Y'all so far are my OGs, my original subscribers, so thank you. I think there's like over 80 of you already, and I'm just like blown away. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, I feel totally blessed. You have all left amazing comments, helpful tips, more videos to come, because I know some of you want to see how I make my bread and kefir water and things like that. So I want this channel to be our channel, even though like I'm the face behind the channel, but it's about us, and I want to have continuous dialogue and talk to y'all. So thank you once again for being here. So today, just want to do my week 2 pantry challenge recap. I will preface this by saying I did not film. I did film, but then I said I'm not going to use my film. I'm just going to kind of recap high level, just because, again, I work full time. I have the homestead, so I'm 15 acres, running 15 acres, cows, chickens, I'm just so busy. So I don't always have time. So I just wanted to, and work a full-time job. So because my regular job, I was experiencing a high level of stress because I have some deadlines coming up, big projects that I'm working on, that I fell into emotional eating. Let me know, are you an emotional eater? Especially when you get stressed, because I certainly am. So I found myself, the first week was good because I was able to record all my meals. But through the second week, I was like, I can't keep recording because I'm just eating everything in my path, which is terrible. And I need to work on that. So I've gone to the Lord in prayer on this because I need his help, that's for sure, to help me get through when I'm feeling anxiety or stress, how to healthfully cope through that and just release it to the Lord to say, here you go, here's my stress, just help me through this. So I'm working through that, but needless to say, I ate a lot last week. My weight hasn't fluctuated, thankfully. Well, it has, but it stayed pretty much between, I think I was 266 even this morning. So no harm, no foul. We keep moving, right? So with that said, and again, sorry if you hear my cow, I think she's in heat. My heifer. We have 4 cows. They're all females. So, and there's a male cow further down the road. So she's always calling, calling to him to say, hey, honey, come down to the farm, which he has before. He's escaped his pasture and has come down to visit the girls. But anyway, aside from that, to recap last week, just some of my favorite meals that I made. We had scalloped potatoes, which from some of my canned potatoes. So my canned potatoes were diced, and so I made a scalloped potato with turkey ham, because we don't eat pork, and it came out really good. My husband wasn't thrilled that the potatoes were diced versus sliced like a traditional scalloped potato, but he ate it anyway, and I enjoyed it, so it was really good. We also had an abundance of peppers and onions. So I'm going to make another video because we have neighbors who get waste for their pigs. I don't want to say it's food waste because it makes it sound so gross, but they get food waste from grocery stores and things like that is for the pigs, to feed their pigs. But oftentimes there's really still good food in there, untouched tomatoes, onions, peppers that are not bruised or anything. And so I go over there and help them sort through and we pull out, you know, what needs to go to the pigs, but then there's also some things that are still good to go. And so we call that gleaning, right? And so I glean from there, and I think that's, you know, oh my goodness. You would think it's a shofar, my goodness. The Lord is returning on this farm. So with the gleaning, it's a blessing. That's less that I have to purchase, and it truly is still high quality food. We get cases. There might be 2 moldy tomatoes on top, but then the rest of the tomatoes are perfectly fine. So it just goes to show you the food waste that we have in this country, and there's no reason that we can't feed everybody, that people are hungry. Hunger is like one of my biggest pet peeves, because there's really no reason that anyone should be hungry in this country, that anyone should experience, you know, kids go to school hungry. Like, none of that should exist. There's plenty of food, plenty of farmland, if we did it right, followed, you know, regenerative agricultural practices on our farms. There's no reason why we couldn't still continue to eat meat. We just have to do it symbiotically and work with nature as was intended. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. That's probably a whole nother thing. Sorry, I keep flicking my phone. I get notifications. But anyway, so week 2 was good. We had that. We had peppers, onions, and sausages, which was really good. My husband made that because we had so many onions. I canned a bunch of pickled onions. I canned a bunch of tomato sauce. So this was awesome. So those were 2 big highlights for this week on like favorite meals. Aside from that, we ate, you know, what we had. We made the fish. I made the fish with a rice dish that I had taken out, that you probably saw at the tail end of the one video of last week's Pantry Challenge. So yeah, we're moving right along. I did want to cover real quick that I printed out this USDA, hopefully you can see it. It's the official USDA Thrifty Food Plan. And so, of course, I'm in America, and you might have something that exists if you're not in the States or you're in another country. But they put together these food plans. There's like 4 food plans on, like, if you are like based off of your budget. If you're like low cost, moderate cost, or liberal cost, where you have more money to spend, they kind of put data together on how much those plans would look like, how much on average you would be spending for a family of 4, for a family of 2, etc. And so I printed out the Thrifty Food Plan because my goal is to spend as little as I can on groceries per year. I'm doing a low buy year, and I want to see how good I can do. And so on this chart, it tells you, you know, how much it would cost if you are between the ages of 20 to 50, as a female, as a male, you know, things like that, and what that looks like. Oh, and you know what? I just realized I made a mistake in my calculations. And so I'm going to recalculate, because I just realized my mistake, but how much money I would spend. So they tell you like a family of 4, if it were a male and a female, both between the ages of 20 to 50 years old, and they had 2 children, 6 to 8, and then 9 to 11 years old, that they would spend on average $223.60 per week. And so for a month, they would end up spending $968.80 per month. And so they calculate that weekly cost, you know, taking the female, the male, the kids, and multiplying that by 4.333, because the average month between 4 and 5 weeks, so that's your 4.333. And so I will have to do my numbers again, because it's actually higher, which is great. Because I calculated it for a female between 20 and 50, and then my husband is older, so I did it but as a female, and I need to take the male calculations. So I'm gonna go off of this sheet, and what I'll do is give you guys a total. I should have brought my calculator out. Actually, hold on for a second. Let me pause this. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got my calculator. Okay, so for me, female between 20 and 50, it's $55.50. And then my husband, who's a male, he's between the ages of 51 and 70, he's going to be $61.20. So when I add those two together, I get $116.70. That would be our weekly cost. So let me write that down for myself. And now if I take that and multiply it by the 4.333, that's $505.66 a month for us. And now if I take that total, because that's the month, and I multiply it by 12 months, we should be at spending around $6,067.93, right? So $6,068 if you round it up. And so my goal, again, is to come in within range, if not lower, of the average spend. And this is, folks, this is for people who qualify for things like food stamps or, you know, the SNAP program. They take your income and they use it in this calculation. And so I am not on any food stamps or WIC. I don't have any children or SNAP programs. But I believe in frugal living and saving any penny I can so that I can pay off my debt. That's really my goal. And just not being wasteful, just being mindful of where my money is going so that it could serve me the right way. So with that said, my goal is to come in at this or lower if I can for the year as far as groceries. So I was thinking through how to go about doing this, and I'm not quite sure all the steps I'm going to take, but I just wanted to preface this video. I won't get into all the details because I need to map it out for myself. But I'm thinking through already, okay, like if I want to buy a quarter of a cow, like how much does that look like? How much should I be spending on Azure, right? If I get a few orders a year. My goal is to get 2 orders, but a lovely subscriber informed me that Azure Cash expires like every 4 months, so I have to be wise. And I'll probably have to do a 3rd order in there just to cash out my Azure Cash because I don't want to lose that. So I'm thinking through like how to be strategic and use only this or less for groceries for the year. So, you know, let me know down in the chat. A few of you said you are also a 2-family household. Let me know, what would your game plan be if you only had $6,067 to spend or $68 to spend for the year? Would you get a quarter cow? If that's like, I think that would cost me around like $1,200, depends. Like, how would you break out your money? How much do you think goes to produce, toiletries, meat, dairy, etc.? I would love to know. Or share in the comments down below, how much do you spend a year in groceries? Like, this is the first time I'm like looking at it from this perspective. I've never calculated how much I've spent. It feels like way too much. So I'm curious to know if you've been tracking for yourself or your family, like how much do you typically spend for your family? It could be a family of 4, and I'll kind of do the math to see what that comes out for a family of 2. So let me know down below. But either way, I just wanted to check in real quick, kind of give you a recap. Last week went well, not the best for eating and eating wise as far as eating healthily, but no issues with keeping to the pantry challenge. This week, full steam ahead. But stay tuned because I am going to make another video about this in more detail on kind of like my perspective and plan for groceries this year. So with that said, thanks again for joining me. Sorry, this is a super quick video. I got to get back to doing everything, but I will talk to all of you soon. Thanks again for being here. See you next time.